everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a beautiful day in Southern California. It is gorgeous outside. Just look at this. Blue skies everywhere. So if you guys have been following my winners or trackers or really just anything on my channel, you know that my goals are to continue to lose weight as I have done in the past before with a plant-based diet. And initially when I was doing that, I did that a lot with steps. When with my winners or trackers video, I was talking about how I'm going to be tracking for this week my steps specifically and my water intake, my vitamins, and then just my sleep in general. So a lot of you might be wondering, what am I actually using to track my steps? So I've used a couple different things over time. When I first started losing weight, I was using just a Fitbit. It seemed like something that fit logically in my price range at the time. And so after that, just for no specific reason, I switched it up to a Gen 5 Fossil smartwatch. So the Fitbit was still working great. It lasted an amazing amount of time. I ended up giving it to my mom and we just reprogrammed it so that she could use it. I picked the Julianna Fossil watch because it's just a little bit more stylish and it's a bit more of a smartwatch to match with your phone. Oh, plastic. I'm just gonna, you know, it's kind of a trash walk, picking up plastic as I go and finding more plastic. Okay, hold on. All right, back to stepping. So I honestly don't know if this was my fault, anything that I did that made the watch not work. I can't say. But so it was frustrating having a watch that wasn't working right when I wanted to get into my whole weight loss routine again. So I looked at a lot of options. To be honest, I really didn't want an Apple Watch. I like the circular watches. I really don't like that they're square. I've been holding out, checking all the new ones, waiting for them to come out with the circular one. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I finally gave in. I got an Apple Watch. So I figured this was a great time to start this conversation, seeing as I'm getting steps right now and I'm using them working with outside. I just wanted to show you what it looks like in the sun. And I hope it turns out because I can see it really well. I feel like it has a great screen. No matter what environment I'm in, you can see it fantastically. So my first step tracker was that Fitbit Alta HR Plus. I'll stick a picture up here of it because my mom actually has mine right now, which speaks volumes that it's still going. But ironically, they don't make it anymore. So they have two kinds that Fitbit makes, and I imagine that they've just kind of put everything into those two, improved on it, so I'm sure they're great products. So you can't buy it new anymore. But if you did want to buy it used, I looked online and they have them only for like $50 to $100. If you're looking for something that isn't too pricey, that can just get you going and even buying it used, I think that that would be a really good option. And I wrote down a couple specs here for you. So I got mine in February of 2018. Its battery life will last for about 7 days. I did replace the charger. I'll show you what their charger looks like. It kind of is like a claw that goes on the back, and after a while it stopped working for me, and so I would buy another charger just to replace it. It wasn't very expensive. After a while I just kind of kept bumping it on things, and so it would get scratched, and for a while it was just difficult to kind of see through it because I'd scratched it up so much. And my husband just bought a new screen, replaced the screen for me, and it was good as new. It is water resistant. It is not waterproof. All three of them come with an app. They connect with Bluetooth to whatever smartphone you have. They do work differently depending on what smartphone you have. Fitbit works pretty well across the board, but honestly, Apple wants you to use the Apple Watch and so on and so forth. So a company isn't going to make it as user-friendly for you to use a different brand provider's item and meshing it with their systems. I kind of came across that issue, but we'll put a pin in that. So it does have an app that worked well on my iPhone. Although one thing is you cannot sync the health app to it. They want you to be using the Apple Watch. So you can't sync as many things to it, but you definitely still can count your steps and use the Fitbit app on your phone, which can track a bunch of different things from your weight to your activity level, your sleep. I didn't really trust the sleep as much. I found that I would look at the information it gave me and it didn't always mesh up properly. And then also with the steps, I like to test my trackers and I'll drive for a little bit. I'll check to see what my steps are. I'll drive a little bit more and see if it's adding on to it and how sensitive it is. And I did notice that the Fitbit was pretty sensitive. So I found that I would round down with my step numbers. So if I was trying to hit like 10,000, maybe I want to do like 10,500 or a bit over, assuming that part of my steps actually were something else during the day. And at least it's still calories that you're burning. So if you're just trying to have the general concept of burning 10,000 steps worth of calories, well, moving your hand, you're still burning calories. So it's not the same kind of thing, but at least it's not like you're sitting there doing nothing and it's just adding up your steps while you're just being completely sedentary. You're moving, but just causing it to count. But either way, maybe this is all in my head, but I do feel that I trusted the Fitbit a little bit less for that kind of thing and like heart rate tracking. If we were to pretend like it was on my wrist right now, the way that you use it is you just tap it. So the screen is a touch sensitive screen and it will scroll through different things for you. So you can pick what is always showing. You can pick if it's always on, which of course will affect the battery life. You just scroll through everything with a little tap. So I would have maybe the time as the first thing or the date or my steps, and I just go to look at it, see what it is, tap through what I want to know, do a little double tap to turn it on, and it was a really simple item. The band that it came with is more of a silicone, very breathable, which I liked because when you're working out and just living in it so often, I don't want something that's going to make my skin feel funny. And I did have the thin band one, so it just seemed a little sleeker on my wrist. I didn't mind the look of it. Of course, when you're wearing it, everyone knows you're wearing a Fitbit, but that didn't bother me. I was like, heck yeah, I'm being healthy. I'm counting my steps. What now? In conclusion, Fitbit Alta HR, thumbs up. I think it was a great buy for the price, for the amount of time that it lasts, for just being pretty basic with counting your steps, but then also tracking a lot of other things. I think it was great. So if you're looking for something that's around that price range, a Fitbit could be great for you. The second step tracker that I've used is the Julianna Generation 5 Fossil Watch, and I was a huge fan of this guy. So it looks a lot like a regular watch, which was my big pull. I wanted something that seemed just like your average watch. I want to show you the class. You have to hook this over. You hook that onto a little bit. That goes down. That goes down. So you can adjust this a good amount. One thing that I will say about this is it's not as breathable as the Fitbit and then the Apple Watch ended up being. I just love the look of it. And it's not touch sensitive like the Fitbit was in that way, but you just hit the side. So looks like a regular watch. It tells me the time. You can see the date there. I know it's hard to see. I have the battery percentage in the very top. And what do I have in the bottom middle? My steps, which says 0 because I literally just charge this. You can have any different face in there. Let's see if I remember how to use this. Cool. Long press, going over. I can see all of these other different faces that I could have if I wanted to. Let's see what else I got. Oh, that one was cool. I had that for a while. It was like a wood background. It's very stylish. You can mesh it to match what you're wearing. You can mesh it to match you. Whereas with the Fitbit, it just kind of is the screen. It's very simple. It's very basic. But this guy is a beauty. So I also have my quick, you can like preset these. And for the top one, I have it set for my lunch break. Because every day, gotta take lunch break at work. Want to make sure to clock back in on time. So I have a 29-minute timer. I hit play. And it will start going on my little timer for me. You can pause it, end it, and it's just, it has a nice sensitivity. I got my Google Fit in there. I can scroll through all of the different apps that I have on here. So let's see what we got. The Play Store, settings, alarm, timer,
agenda, cardiogram, contacts, find my phone, Fit Breathe, Fit Goals, Fit Heart Rate, Fit Workout, flashlight, Google Play, hand wash timer, everything has that now.
Phone, reminder, settings, stopwatch, weather, so like everything. A lot of different apps you have on your phone are compatible with the watch. Now, I ran into a little glitch because I didn't really think about this when I was buying it because I've always had the iPhone while using all of these trackers. And this is not an Apple Watch, obviously. It says that it's compatible with an iPhone, which it is. I was definitely able to have the app on my phone, utilize it, but there were just a lot of things that hindered me from doing everything I wanted to be able to do with this. Like when I watched YouTube videos about the watch before I bought it. I was like, oh, look at all that cool stuff that I will be able to do. And then I got it, I hooked it up, and because I had an iPhone, I couldn't do those things. So one of those things is I would receive text messages or phone calls and I could see them. They would pop up, it would show me the whole text message, but I could not respond to the text message, which is not the end of the world, but it's just something that I thought I was gonna be able to do that I wasn't able to do. I was able to listen to music off of it. I could hook my AirPods up to it and listen to music. To get into actual specs, because I want to make sure I touch on similar things for each one, I got this watch in January of 2020, and I spent $200 on Amazon for it. Right now, if you were to buy it at Fossil, which is the company that makes it, it would be $295. The battery life is 13 to 14 hours, a lot shorter, but it's doing just a lot more constantly. The charger, not my favorite. It is very similar to the Apple Watch one, but it just doesn't have as solid of a feel to it, as like a connection feel. This is what it looks like. And you've got this back part here. It just magnetizes to the back of it, but it's not very strong. And it got to the point for me where if I wanted to charge it, I'd have to make sure that this would line up with this, and it was pushing down hard enough, and I'd have to make sure, which makes sense, but that this was always freshly cleaned before charging. Otherwise, it just started to give me a hard time. And I replaced that charger a couple times. Is it waterproof? Yes, it is waterproof up to 100 feet. It has the Wear OS app, which is a Google item, so Google phone's gonna work great with it. I also was not able to sync the health app to it, and yeah, I was really happy with the watch. I think visually beautiful. It just made me wish I didn't have an iPhone for some of those things, but that's not a big deal. So maybe if you don't have an iPhone, I think that the Fossil Julianna Gen 5 is a solid product. Maybe be prepared to have to rebuy the charger. All right, what am I using now? Obviously, you know, I've said it multiple times, but I'm using the Apple Watch. I will say, as you just saw that, this is the only watch that requires me to put in a passcode. You can set it to not have to put in a passcode, but I believe then you can't have your Apple Wallet on it, because then like anyone could just have your watch and buy stuff. This is the Series 5 Apple Watch, 44 millimeter, which is the bigger one. They have a 40 and 44 millimeter, and that's referencing the screen size, and it's aluminum. They did come out with another type that is more expensive that is not aluminum, but I think that this worked long enough for Apple. I'm sure it will work great for me. It's a little easier to put on. This is a smaller band. It comes with 2 different band size options, and just like a belt, you kind of pop that into one of the holes. Boop, stick that right there. I do it on the second to last one, and you have a watch. And you do see me keep having to put in the code. The only reason it's doing that is the first time you put it on your wrist, you have to re-put the code in. It won't keep doing that to you a gajillion times over and over again. It also will unlock your iPhone for you. So if you're wearing your watch and you're walking around with your iPhone, you can pick it up and your watch will buzz, which says unlocked your phone, and you don't have to like kind of do the phone thing so you can see your face or put in your own code with that. And I'm able to set up different things on the side. So I can do walkie-talkie mode. I have my husband on there. He's actually my only walkie-talkie. I can just hit walkie-talkie. It connects to him, and no matter where he is, as long as his phone is near him, it will kind of beep, and my little voice will come out of his watch. I've got that. I have my work timer again. My steps down here in the bottom. Bottom right is my activity. Filling up those rings. The way that I was able to have my steps on the front screen was actually by downloading a different app, because the apps that it comes with for activity are this activity tracker. But what that's actually tracking is the red is how much I move, so calories burned. The green is exercise, but in minutes. And then the blue is how much I stand. So I've burned 381 out of their projected 870 calories, and that's out of exercise, because of course I burn more than that amount of calories in a day. And then obviously standing and exercise, but I can't have steps on there, and I wanted to be able to see steps on the front. So I ended up downloading I believe it's pedometer 2. There are a couple different apps you can download so you can see it on the front. That's just the one that I picked. If I hit the side button, it pops up with every app that I have on my phone that is compatible with the watch. So not everything will move over. And there's that pedometer plus I was just talking about right there. Not everything will move over because you can't, like, not everything is compatible, but everything that can will. You can preset, there's that main one that I was just talking about, and there's a smaller button here. So you can preset that to be your favorites, and that will have everything that you use the most just right there. That way you don't have to go very far. And once you scroll to the bottom, you can hit all apps, then see all apps again. One thing that I love that I actually didn't have on right now because I wasn't wearing it obviously, is there is a camera remote option, and it will honestly mirror what I see because I'm right now recording with my iPhone facing me, right? So I can see real time the video. So say that I'm doing a recording and I don't want this facing me. Well, I can use that as reference. I'm not gonna stop it, but I could stop the recording if I want to. I can use it to take pictures. It's been very convenient. Well, I guess I have to actually stop it so I can get out of the setting and keep doing the video. Okay, we're back. Let me jump into some specs for you on this watch. We actually bought ours used because I didn't feel the need to get the brand newest one that was out there. I could have gotten the 6. They're also coming out with another one. I'm pretty sure this month, actually. We went for the Series 5. We got it on Back Market, which is a company that will acquire different technologies and they refurbish them and then they sell them. So they come with a great warranty still. We paid $385 for my watch. The battery life is 18 hours. The charger, like I was mentioning, is similar to the Fossil watch, but it just has a little more oomph to its magnetism. Same look. This is the back of the Apple Watch. And then it just kind of, you can hear it more, I feel like. It's a lot stronger. So that's how it charges. It tells you the percentage while it's charging. And I find that it definitely charges fast enough. Like, it's not crazy speedy. You have to understand it takes a lot of battery to run this. But I can plug it in just for a short time, get enough oomph to get me however far I need to go. And yeah, easy, popping it back on. And it can check to see if you have like a heart murmur, which I thought were like inconsistencies in your heartbeat. So I thought that was really interesting. I've done that a couple times. It's like the EKG, I don't know, little test or something. I'll edit that out if that was not what it was called. This says water resistant, but up to 164 feet. And then there's also a setting where if you're gonna go in water, you turn on like the water mode. Once you turn that off, it like shoots air out or something. So any water that was inside leaves it. It being an Apple product, it's compatible with basically everything on my phone. I can respond. Ooh, this is cool. Let me show you how to respond to text messages. So I'm here. I'm gonna go down to M for messages. So my bubby said, love you. And then if I want to respond, I can either do voice to text, I can write something. So I could be like, hi, and it actually types hi in the corner. Hi, space, O-O-V-E, space, U, exclamation. Hi, love you. Send that, send. I could do an emoji to go with that. Little kissy face. Go back. So yeah, very multifunctional. I can listen to music off of it. I have Shazammed music with it before. We don't have it set up with this yet, but there is the option to basically have it be like its own phone, and it has its own service plan. I believe for us on Verizon, it would just be $5 a month per watch, and that would give it its own service. So I could go on a walk, I could go on a hike, I could go to the beach and not bring my phone with me, and I'll just have the Apple Watch. I'm able to text, call, Google stuff, Google Maps, anything that I need off of my device, and I don't need to have my phone with me, which I think is really great, especially for walks, because sometimes it's clunky to have it. You can still listen to music, you can still call someone if you need to, but you're just less hindered by a huge phone. This band is also a lot more breathable, just being that silicone. I plan to get a different band type that will also be breathable, so I like the look of it. I ended up getting that like gold. It's more of a rose gold, even though they call it gold. All of mine kind of go around the same color theme. I like rose gold. So I hope you enjoyed my little overview of all the step trackers that I've used. Maybe you found something that interests you, or it kind of points you in a direction for something that you're looking for, some pros and cons. I also want to add in here, you don't have to buy a watch to count your steps. Your cell phone can count your steps for free. For the most part, there is a health app that comes with all phones, whether it's an iPhone or not an iPhone, or you can spend just a couple dollars on an app on your phone if you do want a different one, as opposed to a couple $100 or $50 to $100. So there's so many ways to go about this. You can just stick the phone in your pocket, walk as you go. When I used to be a waitress, that's what I did. I put my phone in my apron pocket and I would just count my steps that way. So that's totally practical. By no means do you need to go out there and buy one of these watches to get going on your health journey. It's just something that I did over time when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm buying this watch, I'm gonna walk, and then every single time I looked at the watch, it motivated me to keep going. Not that you need to spend a bunch of money on something to create that motivation, but it worked for me at the time. It was a great product. I feel like I've gotten a lot out of it, and I'm excited for the little changes that I've made. So I imagine I'll be sticking with this Apple Watch until it dies out on me. I have no reason to get anything else, unless if they come out with one that's a circle, I'm jumping ship. That's an Apple Watch. So if anyone ever sees one, send me a link. Tell me. Keep your girl in the loop. But I hope you guys have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions. And you're awesome. Talk to you guys later.